guys, and welcome to the first episode of This Week in Wrestling with me, Ryan, the king of knowing things about wrestling. See, I made that New Japan video on Monday and I thought, why not just cover everything I watch in a week? Because I'm trying to watch more wrestling, I've been trying to expand, so I thought I'll just give my thoughts on everything, and if you guys enjoy it, you enjoy it. If not, that's fine too, I guess, but come on. I'm so charismatic and I know so much about wrestling things. So first things first, I thought we would talk about the suspensions. That's right, not one, not two, but three wellness policy related suspensions in about, I think it was about 2 days. That was Alberto Del Rio, Paige, and Eva Marie. This came as quite a shock because, well, you wouldn't think of all the people on the roster, I wouldn't see those people as people who would get wellness policy violations. Apparently Eva Marie's was just some misfiled paperwork or paperwork not filed in time, which almost makes it sound like it's part of the storyline. I don't think they would do that, but I definitely feel like WWE should use this in the Eva Marie turning up and not doing her match for various reasons storyline, in that she forgot, with air quotes, you can't see that, but air quotes, she forgot to take her wellness policy. It's so hard to say so many words at once. She forgot to file her paperwork, and on purpose, so she didn't have to wrestle at Summerslam, which I think would just be really funny. Now, I've also taken the liberty of writing some jokes that don't involve sex, because a lot of them were just like, oh, I guess it's sexually transmitted and stuff, and I'm like, that's boring, that's a boring joke to make. So let's have some wordplay and puns, because people love those. But let's start with an easy one. Alberto Del Rio and Paige both suspended. What a pair of idiots. Because Alberto Del Rio says pero. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. How about this one then? I bet the book they write about this will be a real page turner, because Paige had a move called the page turner, and she's called Paige. And this one plays on his Lucha Underground name, so get ready for that. I guess we know where Alberto is El Patronov now, and it's a creepy guy in the back of the gym. I'm sorry. I just thought we'll have some jokes, we'll have some fun wordplay to start the episode off. Oh, there was one more. I can't believe they suspended Eva Marie for being a men's rights activist. Hashtag all red pill everything. Alright, now I'm done. Now we can move on to the actual discussing part of this terrible, awful show. I'm so sorry. So let's talk about Monday Night Raw. I really liked the opening segment. Oh, by the way, I should have probably said this in the introduction. I'm not going to recap everything, because that was going to take a lot, because there was a lot of wrestling that I watched this week. But I'm going to recap sort of some stuff and just talk about stuff that I found interesting I wanted to give my opinion on. So I'm starting with the Roman Reigns versus Rusev feud, which, so weird. I really enjoyed the opening segment, which was Rusev with a mic in the ring, refusing to let anyone start the show until he got his revenge and stuff. It was really good. Rusev is so good on the microphone. Rusev is so good in general, really. He's probably one of the best people they've got right now, and I love him basically saying, I'm the only champion on Raw, meaning I am the top guy on Raw. It was great. And then Roman Reigns comes out. Roman Reigns is just... he's a really good wrestler, in my opinion. In the ring, his matches with AJ Styles, the Shield triple threat, that sort of stuff proves that Reigns can go in the ring. In fact, his match with Brock at WrestleMania 31, no one wanted him to win, but it was pretty damn good, and he looked pretty damn great in it. Of course, it ended in a great way with Seth Rollins cashing in on him and making sure he didn't become champion, because no one wants him to be champion. Here's the problem with Roman Reigns. The problem is, we don't want another Superman. Oh, I'm getting beaten up. Oh no, I'm such an underdog, even though I'm a stacked buff Samoan dude who looks like he could take on anyone in the roster easily. But, I'm going to come back at the last minute and win. No one wants that, because Roman isn't an underdog. The best Roman Reigns stuff is when he's a big Samoan dude beating the crap out of people. His matches with AJ were great because AJ was the underdog. His match at the Battleground Triple Threat was great, was brilliant, I might even say, because it portrayed him as a wrecking ball running through Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and forcing them to work together, a face and a heel, just to take him out. It was great. But now he's back to the silly, definitely gonna win Superman character, and I don't care. And also, he's wrong. He's the bad guy. Like, we're supposed to cheer him, but Rusev is obviously the good guy here. I'm not the only person who sees this, am I? Like, Rusev is trying to defend his wife's honor because Roman Reigns called her a mail-order bride. You can't do that. That's not okay. That's not an okay thing to say to someone's wife. Rusev is perfectly within his rights to demand that Roman Reigns get his ass kicked. And then, of course, at the end of the episode, they had a match. It was a good match, but, of course, lol, Roman wins. Why do I even bother? And, moving on to the next thing, my absolute favourite segment of the night, which is horrifying because it's literally a part-time Matt and Day jobber. But of course, I'm talking about Brock Lesnar and Heath Slater. Heath Slater's hottest free agent gimmick is brilliant. I absolutely love it. His just turning up on Raw and SmackDown, demanding he get a contract, no matter how inconvenient, no matter how stupid, no matter how much he's going to get beaten up. And his promo here was really good. Of course, Heyman and Lesnar are in the ring. Heyman is giving his usual Brock Lesnar promo, and it's, as always, brilliant. I want them to do more with Heyman. I know he pretty much just hangs out with Brock now, but I would love for them to do something with him, because he is a brilliant manager, and he's brilliant on the mic, and I think you really could use him for, like, a guy who isn't as good on the mic. But of course, he's just tied to Lesnar in such a way now, you'll never get out of it. Fine. But they're in the ring, and then Slater comes out, and he basically says, I'm going to get a Raw contract if I fight Brock Lesnar. If I have a match with Brock Lesnar. And, it's brilliant. He's actually really impassioned in this promo. He's talking about his kids. I feel like maybe the Raw writers didn't get the joke. No, Heath Slater doesn't have kids to feed, or that he's exaggerating it and making it up, because he was really impassioned and really my kids need food, I'm desperate, I need to do this, and I will fight Brock Lesnar. And then he actually he waited till Brock Lesnar turned around, but he actually tried it. He actually tried it on with Brock Lesnar, and it made him look really good. Heath Slater's kind of brilliant. Oh, and of course, Brock Lesnar basically just saying, I don't give a shit about your kids. It's funny. And Brock Lesnar's the only guy who can get away. Well, I suppose AJ swore, I can't remember when, I think it was in his match with John Cena. He swore in the ring where they were wrestling, and he was just basically like, this is the best WWE's got? This is the best? Shit, man. Of course, they muted the sound. I don't like how they mute the sound. I would much prefer if they did a beep. But they mute the sound, and it seems really awkward, and a beep would be really great, because then people can swear. I feel like, let people swear, just beep it out, or mute the sound, I guess, and make it a thing in the show. They never seem to want to acknowledge it, but it was a funny moment. Yeah. What else was that? Nia Jax's jobber match. She was so adorable. I need to look up this girl's name. She was just too cute. Just 100%. This was the name she was billed at. I feel like she might have a different name on the indies, but Rachel Levy, just adorable, just comes in and basically says, because of course they do the interviews with the jobbers before they get crushed. She's getting interviewed. She basically says, I've been watching the Olympics and I see all these people and I'm like, I can do that. I just need to believe in myself. Then Nia Jax crushed her. But it was adorable. I want her to go to NXT, because she also sold really well in that match. It was It was good. I enjoyed it. She got some offense in. Overall, an enjoyable jobber segment. The jobber segments as a whole are really good. Like, they're always really enjoyable. They're always like they kind of play up the fact that, like, it's silly that these people would think they could beat a giant monster person. I don't think Braun Strowman had one this week. I don't remember. I'm looking at results now and I can't see one on there. But I think they're really funny, they're really great, and they really sell these people as monsters, but they need to get these people into feuds soon. Braun needs to, like, crush a big guy to make himself look strong. Maybe he could go over Brock Lesnar. No, that's not gonna happen, and quite rightly. But put him on a few of Big Show. Haven't beat a Big Show for a while, because it kind of makes you go, oh, he's tough, right? That's the problem I find with jobbers. Like, at the end of the day, like, you get to see them doing all the power moves and stuff, but I'm like, I don't think Braun Strowman could beat a top guy, because he hasn't beaten a top guy yet. All he did was crush some, like, tiny little people who didn't have chins, and it was just, like, they're fun, but at the same time they need to give him more stuff to do to make him actually believable. Of course, the big thing everyone's talking about is the demon version of Finn Balor appearing on Raw, and there's a big debate whether they should have saved it for SummerSlam, like the big reveal, or if giving it away on free TV makes people want to buy SummerSlam more. Because you're kind of weighing up, does the suspense make people want to buy it because they want to see it, or does seeing it make people go, oh, I want to see that guy fight Seth Rollins? And I kind of think that they made the right call. The thing is, the demon version of Finn Balor has already appeared in WWE, in NXT, multiple times. At the end of the day, someone's, like, if people want to see it, they can YouTube it, and it's there. They can see his London entrance, or his Dallas entrance, or any of his entrances, and, like, they're really cool. And I feel like showing this gives the people who aren't going to look it up, they get to go, oh, that's awesome, I want to see him fight Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Which I do. I'm quite enjoying their feud. It's not brilliant, it's not as good as Ambrose and Ziggler on Smackdown, which I'll talk about in a bit. But it is enjoyable, and definitely, like, fun. Like, I'm enjoying Seth Rollins just wandering around, just being like, where's Finn Balor? I'm going to fight him. And I thought they played off a fan, an idiot, this stupid asshole. I hate people who do this sort of thing. Hopped the barrier and walked into the ring. Nobody from security stopped him. Just kind of pathetic, really. But he walked into the ring. They played it off quite well. You see the guy for a second, and then Rollins pushes him out the way. And they're kind of like, Rollins in a trance, which was funny because you know, and he's just staring at a guy getting tackled by 4 security guys. Like, honestly, but then he's like, Seth Rollins is kind of like, is this the best the Demon King can do? It's quite enjoyable. And of course, Finn Balor's entrance, as all his demon entrances are awesome. I hope he gets a themed one for SummerSlam, because in NXT they were always like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Jack the Ripper. Like, I hope he gets a cool theme for SummerSlam, or if not, he gets one in future. And I also hope they don't overuse it. I think Big 4 pay-per-views only. Don't do it on every Raw brand of pay-per-view, because otherwise it's going to lose its luster. What made it cool in NXT is there are only 6 or maybe even less NXT takeovers a year. And yeah, one final thing. The Sheamus and Cesaro Best of 7 series, not including the 2 matches they had already. They're going to have 7 more. Jesus Christ. Their matches were actually really good, really hard-hitting. Cesaro's awesome, of course, and Sheamus is underrated, I feel, in the ring. He's a very hard-hitting guy. He's cool. But I don't want to see these people wrestle 7 more times. Sheamus always seems to end up in, you have to wrestle this guy again and again and again. I don't want to see that. I want to see Sheamus do other stuff. But I suppose a best of 7 series, if they put something at stake, if they put like a US title challenge or something at stake at the end of this sort of series, and they give us some cool stipulations, like I'd be quite happy to see like a no DQ match, maybe some sort of last one could be a ladder match. That could be quite fun, like a ladder match, just a one-on-one ladder match, which we don't see in WWE too often these days. I feel like I haven't seen one in the time I've been watching. I don't think. Just a one-on-one ladder match for and the contract for the United States #1 contendership is on the top of the ladder. Be quite fun. Just that sort of stuff. Just give us stuff that makes each match unique. Otherwise, it's going to be super boring. Anyway, next up is Smackdown Live. That Miz TV opening segment was brilliant. First things first. The Ziggler-Ambrose feud is actually really hot, and I'm really enjoying it, because Ziggler's a really good guy. Of course, he hasn't been used since, 2013, I want to say. From my research, I wasn't watching that far back. But in the time I've been watching, they haven't used him much. But he's a guy you see and you're just like, that's a cool guy. That's a guy I want to see do more. And this feud with Ambrose is really good, because Ambrose's character is finally locked in, I feel. Like, he's fine, because they kind of had him doing silly stuff, and some of it was really good, like the Little Red Wagon. When he was feuding with Brock Lesnar, he comes up with a Little Red Wagon and he's just chucking weapons in there. But I think this more serious, I'm going to kick your ass streak is really good, and I'm really looking forward to their matches at SummerSlam. And also, they've done a good job of making Ziggler feel like a contender, giving him wins over the Wyatts and stuff to make him feel like he's actually a threat to Ambrose, even though I don't think he's going to win. But it was cool. Next up, just the women's stuff in general. Naomi's entrance, the rave entrance, was brilliant. I'm really looking forward to seeing it at SummerSlam, even though it'll probably be in the day. But just really good. Naomi's a great dancer. She's, that entrance turned her face, apparently, because she was a heel when she was injured. Was she injured or off TV? And she comes back and she's a face just because she did the most brilliant rave electro entrance. It was really good. I'm not gonna disparage it. I really enjoyed it. And of course, as I was mentioning earlier, Eva Marie not turning up for a match because she was stuck in traffic. Just the Eva Marie stuff is really good at the moment. Like, as soon as she wrestles, I feel like it's gonna go down the drain because people remember, oh yeah, she's terrible. I'm hoping the twist on this is Eva Marie is a great wrestler now. Like, she's used her time in NXT, she used her time off television and stuff to actually become, if not amazing, at least decent, and can hold her own. If you put her in a match with Becky Lynch, I feel like as long as she can do moves, if you get put in a match with Becky Lynch, I feel like Becky Lynch will guide you to a good match, because Becky Lynch is this is me getting sidetracked to loving Becky Lynch, but Becky Lynch is, in my opinion, the best women wrestler on the roster, SmackDown or Raw. She's great. Back on track. Yeah, Eva Marie's gimmick of not turning up is really funny. And I loved her turning up late and just being like, I'm going to go straight to the ring and see what's going on. And interrupting the Becky and Carmella versus Natalya and Alexa Bliss match. Which was... they didn't get very far into it, I don't think. But I think the SmackDown roster as a whole, the women's part of the roster, is really good and kind of better than Raw's at the moment, because Raw is just focusing on Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke. Like, where's Alicia Fox? Where's Paige? Well, we know where Paige is now, but where was she for the past few weeks? Where's Summer Rae? Summer Rae is on the Raw roster. I don't think I've seen her on Raw yet, but we've seen every woman on the SmackDown roster, and they feel like they're part of a story, and it's working well. And but they need a title soon, now. I imagine they're saving it for the first pay-per-view after SummerSlam, which I believe is Backlash. But there are also rumours going around that they've got tag titles ready, but they don't have a women's title ready, which is worrying, because I think the women's title is more important than the tag title at the moment. I hate to say it, but the tag division needs better heels before they can really have a title. But the actual women wrestlers are all really good. Natalya's great, and since her heel turn, she's really been working well. Her terrible the only taunt she does, it's like she only has the up Arrow works on her Xbox controller, so she can do one taunt where she turns to the camera and holds her arms out and goes, yeah, in the most deadpan, terrible actress voice you can possibly imagine. It's brilliant. It makes me hate her so much, but that's what makes it great. Becky, of course, is my beautiful soul angel. Carmella's great. She's I think she needs to drop the entrance because it annoys the shit out of me. I'm sorry, but everything else about her I like. I like her in the ring. I like her. I like her screaming. I like her moonwalking. It's really funny. It's good stuff. And of course, Alexa Bliss, who is just brilliant. Also, like, we haven't seen an absolute like top-notch match out there yet, but we saw some really good stuff out of her with Carmella in NXT. Their last match they had together was really good, and then Alexa Bliss, of course, went on to lose to Bayley the week after. But I think it proved that they can both go in the ring, and I want to see them get time and get shown more, because that's what they need right now. They need these 6 women. They need all of them to be really good. They need to build all of them up, give them all time on the mic, and make sure we like or dislike all of them. And I think Talking Smack did a good job of that, by the way, because Talking Smack is the SmackDown after show, I guess, hosted by Renee Young and Daniel Bryan. It's really good, though. It's probably better than parts of Raw, than half-hour stretches of Raw. I think I would rather watch the SmackDown Talking Smack show, because it's just they're kind of just going on their own. John Cena gave a brilliant sort of... John Cena's really good in just talking. Like, he's even better than he is on promos, and he's good on promos, but he's great at just having a conversation with someone, but being John Cena. And that was good stuff. And the stuff with the women, with Naomi and Becky Lynch, who were there, and basically saying, we need a title, we need time, and we need a title, and I think that's hopefully gonna get listened to. What else was there? There was the 12-man tag. It was fine, but there are no good heels. Like, I mean, there are good heels. The Vaudevillains are great. Their run when they had just come up and they were feuding for the tag titles, they were actually threatening. Their gimmick really worked because they just really liked the olden days, and I thought that works really well. They're not like time travelers or anything. And the Ascension, I don't know anything about the Ascension. The entire time I've been watching, they haven't been relevant. But I don't know. I feel like you could do something with them. And there's Breezango. Breezango are decent. They were quite fun. I hope they just keep going with Breezango. I hope they don't break them up anytime soon. There was the Heath Slater segment, which wasn't as good as the Raw one, but was quite funny, where he actually wins his match against Randy Orton by disqualification, but he wins it, and then he screws up his chance of getting his SmackDown contract. It was quite funny. It's just, the Heath Slater stuff's really good. It's not brilliant, it's not groundbreaking, but it's really enjoyable. Whenever Heath Slater's on, I'm having a good time. Same with Eva Marie, which is a shocking thing to say. But the 12-man tag match was fine. They're doing a rematch at SummerSlam, which, because we saw this match. It's the same with Rusev and Reigns. That was like the match before their SummerSlam match. And I don't want to see the same match twice. I don't want to see the match the week before I see the match at SummerSlam. There's no point. But hopefully it gets a bit more time. We see a bit more cool stuff. I don't know. I'd prefer just Alpha versus the Vaudevillains or something. But I suppose they aren't strong enough yet to go their own. But overall, and AJ went for another table, which was funny, and hopefully means that he's going to win at SummerSlam. I'm going to be doing SummerSlam predictions at the end of this video, and I'm hoping that AJ Styles beats John Cena clean. It's my dream. My dream is AJ Styles Clash 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, perfect. But good stuff overall. SmackDown's really good. I think maybe even better than Raw overall, even though the roster's weaker. I feel like they make everyone matter and they make everything work, and every segment feels like it matters and it's entertaining. So overall it's a better show, and if they get, I feel like they maybe need to steal like 1 or 2 guys from Raw's roster over the next few months. I think Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn, preferably Kevin Owens, because they don't really have a top heel at the moment. They've got Bray, but Bray is more of a chaotic wild card going against everyone, and I feel like you need Kevin Owens as a perfect guy who can feud with all the faces and be threatening and be a great heel. Cesaro, but of course he's tied up for the next 7 weeks. Whatever. At the moment SmackDown's really good, and a couple of guys are being misused on Raw, and I think they should go over to SmackDown. My hope is SmackDown gets some more talent and really gets to make their show great, because at the moment it's good. I feel like it could be great with just a couple extra people. NXT, I haven't watched NXT in a few weeks. NXT is always the first one that I stop watching, because it never feels... NXT TV always feels like it's not as important. Like, nothing super important ever happens. But it's always good. It's always a good wrestling show. And that's important as well. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the last few weeks, really. Bobby Roode's debut. I saw him at NXT Plymouth, and he was really good there, but I don't think he had his theme then, which was glorious. And of course he's had promos and stuff, so we've seen his character properly now, and it was really good. I like the idea of a guy coming in and saying, I want to make NXT, like, I want to have CEOs and Fortune 500 people coming in, not these losers, this full sale crowd with their smarky chants. I was hoping he's having a match with Andrade Cien Almas at TakeOver, and I was hoping what he was going to do is kind of come out and be like, you're not white, that goes over well with demographics, I want you in my stable. And because I want Bobby Roode to make a corporate stable, and I want it to be really just terrible and awful, where he's trying to like appease everyone and like make as much money as humanly possible, so they're doing all these terrible like merchandise things like Bootios, but awful. Well, Bootios is kind of awful, I'm sorry, but worse, and just trying to get stuff into catchphrases and trying to make people enjoy the stuff they do. I think that would be really funny. But I'm looking forward to his match at TakeOver with Andrade, and what they did do was good with it. I just feel like it would have been really funny and really great if he was trying to make his campus guidebook picture, where it's super diverse and you'll never actually see that on the campus team. I think that would be funny. Billie Kay's really good. She's turned heel now, and I'm kind of like, once again, it was hilarious because they did try and explain it. They were like, oh, she was on SmackDown and now she's got an ego, and that's hilarious. Billie, like, she's actually a pretty good heel. She's got those I feel like all female heels have really long legs, so they can kick people in the face, because Charlotte has it, Summer Rae has it. They'll have these big long legs and just big boot people, and it's always great. Billie Kay's really good. I'm really enjoying her heel stuff. I like her entrance, I like her cape. Her matches have been pretty good. I'm hoping they build her up more. Her first match is going to be not her first match. She's going to have her match with Ember Moon, and it will be Ember Moon's first match at TakeOver. So she's probably going to lose that. I hope it doesn't affect her momentum too much, because I feel like they could go somewhere with her. I feel like they could build her up as a challenger for Asuka at some point. It's going to take a while, but I hope they do. The Nakamura Samoa Joe stuff is great. Nakamura is, of course, a charismatic, brilliant, just fireball of energy. And Samoa Joe, I didn't like him in his feud with Finn Balor, but ever since Balor's gone up, he's been brilliant, because Samoa Joe is great. And I loved his match with Mojo Rawley was really good. Like, shock of all shocks, I really enjoyed that match. And Samoa Joe has just been brilliant as I had to do so much to become champion, and you're giving Nakamura a shot because he beat like Sami Zayn and Finn Balor, like two former NXT champions. I feel like that gives you some sort of credit, but Samoa Joe has been really good, and their interview this week, with their sit-down interview, where Samoa Joe is just like, well, there's 10 security guards to make sure they don't fight, and Samoa Joe's just ripping into Nakamura, was really good. This week there was the 6-woman tag, and that was really good. They're introducing a bunch of new women into NXT because they called up all of the women, and I think they used Alexa Bliss and Carmella well in this match to kind of be the anchor. So you're like, oh, I know who these people are, and then you've got the rest of these people. There was Liv Morgan was there. She's been on the show, of course, and she's fine. She's good, but she's not anything special in my opinion. I feel like she could be, but I don't know. She hasn't been particularly notable to me at this time. But Nikki Glencross was brilliant. She's like 5 foot tall. I don't know how tall she actually is. I'm just saying 5 foot because she was short, and she's just screaming and doing crazy stuff. Just so she's cute. I hope they go places with her. Cute, not like I fancy her. Cute, like she's adorable. Daria Baronetto on the heel side was great. She's like this just former MMA fighter apparently. She definitely looks it. She looks tough. She looks scary. I hope they go places with her. And Mandy Rose, who Corey Graves instantly decided was, whilst not Eva Marie, was second place to Eva Marie. And she's a very attractive woman, not gonna lie. But also good in the ring, from what I saw. Hope she goes places. Also, they have Hideo Itami back finally. Itami back finally, and he's just brilliant in the ring. He's been fighting Cruiserweight Classic guys. The Cruiserweight Classic guys are great. I hope they stick around. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but the 2 matches they had with Hideo Itami and their matches on the Cruiserweight Classic, which I haven't caught up on at the moment, but what I've seen has been great. But their matches are really good. I hope they continue with the Hideo Itami injury mystery. I want to see him just investigating the mystery and trying to find out who did it. And I hope it's not Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens feels like a easy option. I want to see Hideo Itami investigating the mystery, but I don't know if they're going to do it. Hopefully after TakeOver we get him being a detective. I don't know, I just think it'd be funny, him in a big trench coat. I watched Ring of Honor TV. I haven't seen Death Before Dishonor yet. I will later today, and I'll probably talk about it when I talk about TakeOver tomorrow. But I really liked TakeOver TV. Not TakeOver TV. I really liked Ring of Honor TV. There was a really good match between Donovan Dijak and Leo Rush, which was a good match. I really like Ring of Honor. Seems to be more like have some good wrestling matches. And I really liked the contract signing between Adam Cole and Jay Lethal was great. Really enjoyed that. I really like Jay Lethal already from seeing him in New Japan, seeing him in What Culture Pro Wrestling. What Culture Pro Wrestling? I can't talk today. But Adam Cole, never seen him before. Bullet Club member, which Ring of Honor, of course, are now also in Bullet Club are now in Ring of Honor, also as well as being in New Japan. And I really like Adam Cole from what I've seen of him. Hope he wins at Death Before Dishonor, which I will find out probably before I post this video. So I'll put in a note saying if he did. But he was good. I feel like I need a few weeks to watch Ring of Honor and get my opinion on everything, because of course I've barely seen anything of them by seeing one episode, so yeah. That's all for this week, but in terms of what I watched. But next week I'm going to have watched TNA as well, so I'll talk about that. Because I just want to see the Hardys. I want to see Brother Nero and Broken Met Heart. I can't do the voice, but I saw the final deletion. I watched a previous episode. I think I watched last week's episode, and I enjoyed a lot of that. So I'm hoping to see. Apparently, there's a big ladder match this week, which is of course the Hardys' specialty, even though they're in their 40s and shouldn't be jumping off ladders anymore. But they are, and that's fine. I don't even know if they're in their 40s. They might be in their 30s. That wouldn't shock me. Like, they look old, but they're probably not. But yeah, I'll talk about that next week. I'll talk about TNA, and I'll talk about all of this stuff again probably. Tomorrow on Sunday I'll be posting a Takeover Brooklyn review, and I'll probably also talk about the Super J Cup. I might watch it, I might not, because there's no English commentary. Don't know how I feel about that, and I don't know how important it's going to be to the rest of New Japan, so I might skip it. We'll see. And I'll talk about Death Before Dishonor as well. But just before we go, I'm going to give my predictions for NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2 and SummerSlam. So starting with Takeover, the first match listed here is Ember Moon versus Billie Kay. I think... Oh, goddammit, I lost the page. I'm leaving this in. I don't care. Just getting the page up. Alright, so Ember Moon versus Billie Kay. I think Ember Moon, it's her debut match. She's got the top rope stunner finisher. Brilliant. I've seen it. Just recordings from house shows. It's great. It looks like it'll break her back one day, but it's great, so I'm looking forward to that. I think she's going to win, and I hope it doesn't kill Billie Kay's momentum, but at the same time, I hope it sets Ember Moon up as a strong contender, because she looks great. Just from what I've seen of her, from her indie stuff and her recorded house show stuff, she looks good. No Way Jose versus Austin Aries. I think Aries is going to win this, because him and No Way Jose on the same level? Really? I like No Way Jose. He's funny. I like the dancing. I don't think he should beat Austin Aries. I feel like Austin Aries has been underutilized at the moment, and I hope we see more of him, because I quite enjoy him. Then we've got the Revival versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Tag Team Championship. I think, in my heart, I want Gargano and Ciampa to take the titles, because I want the Revival to go up to Smackdown and feud with American Alpha forever, because their matches were great. The Revival are really good. I didn't give them credit at first, but they've grown on me. But I think they're retaining for a while longer. I think they've been kind of setting up Gargano and Ciampa breaking up and Ciampa turning heel. My secret hope is that Gargano turns heel on Ciampa and is like, everyone likes me more than you. Basically, because they've been setting up our expectations, I hope we get swerved. So I think they'll lose. One of them will turn on the other one. But if they win, I feel like you could tell that same story where they slowly start to, like, they're champions, but they're slowly starting to grow apart, and they're slowly starting to, like, beat enemies. I think that could be really good. And we've got Andrade Almas versus Bobby Roode. I think Roode's winning. I think it's going to be glorious. Not much more to say on that. I quite like Andrade Almas, but I don't know, he hasn't quite clicked with me yet. I saw him at the same NXT show I saw whatever I was talking about before. Oh, I'm terrible. I shouldn't make videos. I'm just bad at them. But I liked him more in person than I like him on TV. But hopefully this is a good match. Hopefully this propels him. But I think Broode's winning because it's once again his debut. Oscar versus Bayley. Oscar retains probably. Like, I don't see what story they could really tell with Bayley becoming a 2-time NXT Women's Champion, even though I love her. I think she loses and she goes up to hopefully SmackDown. Probably Raw. They'll probably go, oh, but she had all those great matches with Sasha Banks. When Sasha Banks was a heel. But now she's a weird face, but not really a face. Whatever, I will talk about that at another point, my thoughts on Sasha Banks. But, main event is Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Championship. As much as I would love for Nakamura to win, I think Joe's retaining, because I feel like Joe should be... I feel like a younger, maybe homegrown NXT guy should take down Samoa Joe, because he's being built up as such a big guy. And honestly, Nakamura can just go up to the main roster right now. So he loses. Hopefully he goes up to the main roster, probably sticks around, probably feuds with Samoa Joe for the next 2 years. From judging from the Finn Balor feud. But hopefully just loses and is like, cool, I'm just going to go up to the main roster where they appreciate me, hopefully. And on to my SummerSlam predictions, and just discussion, I guess. We've got the first of 7 Cesaro versus Sheamus matches. I think Sheamus wins this one, I guess. There are 7 of them, it doesn't really matter who wins the first one. But I think Sheamus wins. I think it'll be a good match, but... Oh, this is also on the pre-show. We've got Sami Zayn and Neville versus the Dudley Boys. If the Dudley Boys win this, I will riot personally, but I just don't think there's any reason for them to. I think Sami Zayn and Neville take it. I think Neville does his great the Red Arrow and takes it, and it's awesome. American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and the Usos versus Breezango, the Ascension, and the Vaudevillains. Again, we saw that on SmackDown. I think the heels will go over this time, though. Oh, I hate saying go over. I think the heels will win this time. Because they need to be set up as a threat at the moment. Because basically they're just... Like, Breezango are the scariest tag team in the division right now, and that's not good. I think the Vaudevillains and the Ascension need some building up. Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi versus Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and... On Wikipedia it's listed as to be decided, or to be declared, but it hasn't been listed as that on the WWE website, so I don't know exactly what's happening with this. I think if they are gonna announce a sixth person, it will be Nikki Bella, who's apparently been cleared to return to the ring. She won't do too much in the match, I don't think, but I think it will be her. Or maybe a trade and they get Summer Rae or something. I would actually like that. I feel like Summer Rae would be well better used on SmackDown, because she's a really good heel, super underappreciated. So, but I think it'll probably be Nikki, because of course, I don't know, they really like Nikki Bella, but she might return as a face, I don't know, because I think she works better as a heel. I think Nikki Bella is actually a decent wrestler and a decent heel, but whatever. Miz versus Apollo Crews. I think Miz cheats to win. This feud hasn't really gotten started yet. They haven't done much with it. So I don't think it's hot enough for Crews to winning the title to mean anything. But we'll see. Enzo and Cass versus Jericho. I feel like Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are being underutilized at the moment on Raw. This is part why I want Kevin Owens to go over to SmackDown. He's not really being utilized well. Like, Enzo and Cass are good, but I feel like Kevin Owens should be in the main event, and he's just not. And I feel like on SmackDown he would probably take Baron Corbin's place as a main event heel. But I think Enzo and Cass win this one. New Day versus The Club, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson for the Tag Team Championship. I think The Club win. I think New Day are finally unseated. They've been champions for a year. They're great, but I don't know, their gimmick's starting to wear a bit thin, so I think they need a change. So not being champions anymore would definitely sort of be a change and be good. So hopefully. But yeah, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship. I think Banks retains. I think they see money. I think when Vince McMahon looks at Sasha Banks, he gets dollar bill signs in his eyes. And I think she retains against Charlotte unless they want to push this feud even longer. But I want Charlotte out of the main event for a while. Don't know who they'll replace her with. Nia Jax, I guess. But the division has focused solely on Charlotte for so long now. I kind of want them to change it up for a while. Rusev versus Roman Reigns. As much as I want Rusev to lock in the Accolade, tap Roman Reigns out, and retain the United States Championship for the rest of eternity, I want him to come out one day and just be like, I've changed it for the European Championship because screw the United States. But I think Reigns is going to win. I think they gave him his punishment. He lost 3 matches in a row. I think he wins, and he becomes the United States Champion. Everyone starts booing him again. John Cena versus AJ Styles. As I said before, I hope AJ Styles is going to win. I think AJ Styles is going to win. My dream is for AJ Styles to win. It's going to be great. Though I think, judging by their Money in the Bank match, if this match is as good as that, but without a run-in, I think it'll be a match of the year candidate. Ambrose versus Ziggler. Ambrose retains. I feel like either one of them could turn heel, but I doubt it. I would love Ziggler to turn heel. I would love that. Like, he can lose. Ambrose can go for the "you earned my respect" handshake, super kick, or famouser, or zigzag, or whatever you want to do, and he turns heel, and then he gets Breezango as his bodyguards, and they come out taking selfies and just being disgusting people, disgustingly beautiful people. But yeah, then we've got Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Galactic Interdimensional Championship. I love how Daniel Bryan has been running down that championship. As a side note, on Talking His Back and stuff, it's really funny, and I hope they're telling him not to, and he's just like, no, it's a dumb name, and it's dumb that you just instantly announced a new championship. And finally, Lesnar versus Orton, which is apparently the main event. That makes sense. It's the biggest match, I guess, and I suppose it makes it so the Universal Championship and the World Championship, one doesn't look bigger than the other, because neither of them are the main event. But I don't particularly care for Brock Lesnar. I wasn't here for him beating The Undertaker and crushing John Cena. I've seen it now, of course, but at the end of the day, he's just a guy who turns up every few months and beats people who probably deserve more. Bros. But yeah, I think he F5s Randy Orton through the ring, through the bottom of the earth. He comes out the other side and flies into the sun. I just don't see Randy Orton winning. People have been saying, oh, Goldberg's going to come back and they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. There's nothing I want less. I've seen that match. There is nothing in the world that I want less than... Well, there is, but, you know, for hyperbole's sake, there is nothing I want less than Goldberg to come out, cost Lesnar this match, and then go on to have a match with him at WrestleMania. There's nothing. Goldberg he's fine, but he's also like a billion years old. I'm sure he can still go in the sense that he can put on a 4-minute match. But I don't want to see it. I don't want it to happen. I hope it doesn't happen because I feel like it will ruin what could be a good main event. Having Goldberg come out will just ruin it. There's been talk of Undertaker coming out and costing John Cena the match against AJ Styles. Don't want to see it. AJ goes over clean. If you want to start setting up Undertaker versus John Cena, do it later in the year, because John Cena probably has another good SmackDown feud in him before he feuds with Undertaker leading into WrestleMania. But we'll see. I guess it could happen. Did I actually talk about... I missed Balor. I think Balor's going to beat Rollins. I was talking about the two championships. I think Balor, because I don't think they want to ruin the mystique of the Demon straight away, and I think, once again, money in Vince McMahon's eyes, dollar signs, just looking at Finn Balor, I suppose pound signs, because Balor is Irish, pound signs, when he looks at Finn Balor, he's like, that guy's money. The Demon is money, and I hope he wins his first match at SummerSlam as the Demon against Seth Rollins to make him, 1, a huge star, 2, give him a good championship reign to really set him up as a top guy on Raw. So Rollins doesn't need the championship. Rollins can turn face and fight Triple H or whatever. I hope they're going to give Balor this one. At the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if they made Rollins champion again and Roman chased it, and don't even want to think about it. Thank you guys for listening to my about 50 minutes. Hopefully I'll edit it a bit. But to the first episode of This Week in Wrestling. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Tomorrow on Sunday, I'll do a Death Before Dishonor and NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2, and possibly the Super J Cup, maybe not, because I would have to wake up really early. Don't want to do that. Hopefully that video will be out tomorrow, and then on Monday a SummerSlam review, because there's a lot to talk about. There's about 15 matches on that goddamn card. But I hope to see you guys then. Have a good one. Oh, and don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and tell me how much you love me. Yeah.